basically continuing on the homeless veterans issue, and from past experience of months trying to deal with this issue and talking to the Obamas and the Clintons and the Edwardses and the McCains and the Huckabees and let me see, and the Romneys. You know, that's one thing in common. They're all millionaires. And so I'm starting to believe that millionaires are not the answer to our problems in America, and that the real answer is us. The answer is us, once again. But I'm going to read from an article. It's called Homeless Veterans Program Could Be Cut. Now, we never hear of the White House budget being cut as far as Air Force One, do we? Or stopping the mess in more ways than one. But here we go. It's written by Scott Reeder, and it says, State Senator Debbie Halverson is concerned a new program to help homeless veterans can fall victim to the state budget crisis. I'm very worried about the governor cutting that money right out of the budget, the Democrat from Crete said. Every day, George W. Bush is creating more and more war veterans. We have an obligation to help those returning veterans. The program at Antino Veterans Home is quite small, but Halverson contends the program is significant. Halverson said she used her clout as Senate Majority Leader to boost possible funding for the program by $800,000 in the budget year that begins Tuesday, July 1st. That would put total funding for the program at $1.7 million. But the $29 billion spending plan the legislature approved calls for spending at least $2 billion more than the state is expected to receive in revenues. And there's the rub. The state will either have to come up with more revenue or cut spending to balance the budget. Authors note, at least that's the way they see it. Fuzzy math. The legislator may be called back in session to discuss the budget, or Blagojevich could choose to act unilaterally by using his veto powers to reduce spending. Either way, newer programs such as the outreach to homeless veterans may be vulnerable. We are going to have to make some incredibly difficult decisions in the coming weeks. Any program that is not one of the governor's key priorities is vulnerable, said Kelly Quinn, spokesman for the governor's Office of Management and Budget. Now, authors note again, is she saying that homeless veterans, or dealing with the issue of homeless veterans, is not key priority? Once again, there's nothing we can do about this as people. We're just people, you know. I mean, we have a government by the people, for the people, but the people don't participate, which I found out during the last few months. She added those priorities of healthcare and education. Well, authors note again, healthcare and education. Well, let's educate homeless veterans on how to get back on track quickly, and let's take care of their health care needs as veterans who served our country. Quinn declined to comment on whether homeless veterans programs are vulnerable. The residential facility is called the Prince Home and opened in January. It has a capacity of 15. So far, the program has served 7 veterans, says Deanna Mackey, program director of the homeless or displaced veterans. Of those veterans, some served in Iraq, others in Vietnam, and still others during peacetime, she said. I couldn't say there is a connection between being homeless and being a veteran, although, my words, 1/4 of the homeless population are veterans. I would say that some of the things a soldier, Marine, or serviceman experiences makes it more difficult to work back into society and can help produce a homeless person. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that. I know that it might be a difficult transition into society, but I don't think the transition is necessarily impossible or difficult because of what veterans have gone through. I think the transition is difficult or impossible because of what the government has done to veterans. And things such as this. Obama land, by the way. And I'm not for McCain, but the jeepers, this is more than ridiculous. We're looking for millions of dollars in a budget. Yeah, I'm sure they can't find that because they're, how did Rob Grant used to put it? Creeps, phonies, and frauds. Get off my phone, you creeps, phonies, and frauds. Anyway, they see many things that a normal American doesn't see. There can be trauma to their minds or their psyche. Here we go with lip service. They may be experiencing nightmares or flashbacks about things they've done that have disturbed their psyche and find it hard to regroup. The program targets underlying issues that made individuals homeless. A residential facility gives them a sense of peace. They know they have some place to lay their heads. They don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from. Homelessness is a symptom of other problems. We try to address those problems, things like mental health or substance abuse. So, Tammy Duckworth, I was just wondering what you're going to do about this program. It's a small program, but still, it seems like this should be funded. How do you fund it? You know, we're here in big corporate America, and yet we can't get funding for programs. I don't understand it. You know, we just ran as Democrats who ran in one of the biggest campaigns in years. Millions and millions of dollars spent on possibly rhetoric. Obviously rhetoric, because when it comes down to homeless veterans, where nothing is too good for our veterans, and that's what they get, nothing. In the 80s, we had the Golden Warriors, you know, old ladies and old men, basically, senior citizens fighting for their rights. They came up with AARP at the time, among other things. And they told Reagan what they wanted. Didn't always get it, but they fought him when they didn't get it. And now here's the homeless veteran population, and they're not getting what they need in this country. This issue can't be resolved. Obviously, it's not going to be resolved in our country. If you would like to know more about homeless veterans, visit my website at http://patrioticmission, one word, .blogspot.com. I thank you, it's just something that we need to keep our toes on. So if you have any way of contacting the media in your area regarding this, I think it's a national issue. I also think it's an issue that McCain can pick up on. My friends, he says he takes care of homeless veterans. He says he takes care of this. But yet, my friends, we have this program being cut. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Bye-bye.